Hey Nati, how are you today?
I'm okay.
Yeah, just okay.
I'm kind of worried.
Worried, huh?
Mhm.
Well, I called you down here today. I'm Miss Megan, and I just work in the school and kind of help out some different students whenever they might need some help. And I just called you down here today because I heard there might be some things going on in the classroom, or maybe some difficulties have been going on since you've been here.
Mhm. Um, the teachers don't like me very much.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to explore, some of the things that maybe I've heard. I want to explore some of the things that you're feeling. Before we get to that, I just want to let you know that whatever's said in this room is confidential, which means I'm not going to, tell your parents or tell your teachers or tell anybody else whatever you tell me. The only time I would have to do that is if you're making threats to harm yourself or harm somebody else. Okay? Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay. So, like, what kind of situation might I have to tell someone about?
Um, if I said I was gonna beat somebody up.
Yep, that would be a great example of that. That would be when I would have to tell someone. But other than that, you can be rest assured that whatever you tell me, I'm not going to share with anybody else, okay?
Okay.
Okay. So it sounded like you said you were a little worried about being here today.
Mhm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, it makes me, I'm kind of scared because I know that I don't think the teachers like me very much, and um, they're they're telling my parents that I'm not being good in school, and so my parents are mad at me, and so it just things haven't been going very well.
Okay, that sounds like a lot. It sounds like you've been coping with a lot. How have you been handling all that?
I don't. I just spend a lot of time in my room, and sometimes I cry, um, and I don't know. I just be by myself mostly.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you being willing to talk to me and come down here today and tell me how you're feeling. My role today will just be to hear about what you have going on and your side of the story, and just kind of get a better picture of what's happening, and hopefully come up with a plan with you to make things a little bit easier. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I mean, I want things to be easier because everything seems really hard right now. So
I bet.
that would be okay.
Okay. So you said that you're having, some difficulties with your teachers.
Well, yeah. I mean, like stuff here in America is harder than it was at home, and I don't understand everything. Like some of the words, I don't know what they mean, and I don't know how to say what I mean, and
Yeah.
like some of the problems. Like I used to be really good at math, but now when there's math problems that have words in them, like I'm not as good anymore,
Sure.
and so it's hard, and so my teacher got mad at me the other day because um, I wasn't really listening in class because I don't know what they were talking about,
Mhm.
and she called on me because I think she could tell I probably wasn't listening,
Mhm.
and she doesn't really like me very much, and she was
Okay.
picking on me, and so she called on me, and she scared me kind of because I wasn't listening,
Sure.
and so then I made a note, a hiccup,
Mhm.
but I couldn't think of the word to say what it meant, and so I couldn't tell her what was going on, and so I just got scared and I got flustered, and
Right.
I couldn't talk to her anymore, and then she made me leave the classroom because I wouldn't answer her questions, but I didn't know what to say.
Okay.
Um, and so then she told my parents, and so then they were mad at me, and so it's just
It's a lot.
been kind of bad.
Yeah, I can imagine that it would be. And that's difficult coming somewhere where you might not know the language, and you're trying to pick up on it and do the best you can.
Hmm.
Okay. Well, in that situation with your teacher, have you ever had that situation maybe with a different teacher in a different class?
Um, well, yeah, I mean, with my math teacher, like, I like him a little. He seems nice, and
Mhm.
sometimes when I don't know the word for something, I just kind of get quiet, and then he will sometimes ask me, do you not know the word for this? And then I say yes, because he's nice about it. And I'm comfortable saying, yeah, I don't know.
Sure.
But with her, she's mean, and she won't, I don't think she'll even help, even if I did say that, so.
Okay, well, yeah, then you probably wouldn't ask for help if you don't feel like you're gonna get any help. Yeah, that's understandable. So, it sounds like you're saying you probably wouldn't feel comfortable asking for help. Would there be another way that you think maybe you would feel comfortable with resolving this problem?
Well, I was kind of thinking I could ask a different teacher about some of the words that I didn't know from her class. And maybe that other teacher could help me, and then I could go back to her class and I would know it, and I wouldn't have to ask her.
I think that's a great start to problem solving with that. You know, and I would like to make maybe a suggestion. Would you be okay with that?
Sure.
If you wanted, if you felt comfortable, if we maybe met a couple more times and we get a little bit more comfortable with each other and you feel more comfortable with me, we could sit down with that teacher if you wanted to and explain that to her. That might seem kind of big right now.
Yeah, I feel I'm afraid she'll get mad.
Okay.
But I mean, maybe if another adult was there, she would listen.
Sure. You know, or we could maybe bring your parents in too. Would you feel more comfortable with your parents or less comfortable with your parents?
I don't know, kind of less comfortable just
Okay.
because they don't know some of the words either, and so I wonder if it would be hard for them too, and that's why it's hard to explain to them why sometimes the teachers are getting me in trouble. But maybe just my dad.
Okay. I feel like your dad would understand and be able to.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't have to really worry about that right now. We can just kind of chat and get to know each other today.
Okay.
You know, I noticed that you're wearing a Hogwarts shirt. Are you a fan of Harry Potter?
Yeah, they're my favorite movies, and I'm trying to read the books.
Oh.
Or the first book right now, but there's a lot of words I don't know and stuff, but I really like the movies.
Oh, well, that's really awesome. Do they have those books in America?
Not here.
Yeah.
I think they did back at home, you know, in Ethiopia, but I didn't ever read them there. So when I got here was the first time I saw the movies.
Oh, okay. So you enjoy reading, you're just maybe struggling with some of the words.
I like to read a lot of books when I was in Ethiopia, and I'm a good reader, but I don't know all the words here, and so now it seems like I'm a bad reader.
Oh yeah, well, you know, I know that learning that language can be difficult. I also, when I came here from Ethiopia, I had to learn the English language, and I understand that it can be difficult. And you know what? I found it really helpful to sit with a tutor, someone that could talk me kind of through it and help me learn some newer words that I struggled with.
Yeah.
Would you maybe be open to that?
I would be. I just feel like I tried it one time and the tutor was kind of boring, and I feel like I mean, it would probably help, but I just kind of felt bored because the stuff wasn't interesting to me, but it would probably help to learn some of the words and stuff.
Sure. So maybe if it was less like of an educational tutor and more of just like helping you learn, you know, different English words.
Yeah, more of just focusing on words and stuff, because that tutor wanted me to like talk about stuff which I already knew, and that wasn't helpful. Because I already knew that stuff, so it was boring. So if we just talked about like words I didn't know and learning them, that might be better.
Well, did you know down at the Developmental Achievement Center weekly they have adolescent teen group that gets together and they go to the library and pick out books, and they kind of do that with kids, you know, your age too.
No one ever told me about that before.
Okay. Well, you know, that could always be an option if you're interested in that. I could totally give you some more information about it.
Yeah, I guess if it would help and
Sure.
make things easier in class.
Great. Well, I can give you a pamphlet today when we're all done, and you can take that home and look it over with your parents and see if that might be a good fit for you.
Okay.
Okay. But it's totally up to you if you want to go. It just might be a good option.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we talked about a lot today.
Mm-hmm.
I know that, coming down here you were a little worried, sounded
Yeah.
like, and you're concerned about your teachers, which is completely understandable, and trying to get adjusted to this new school system and feeling acclimated. You've been dealing with a lot,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like. So I'd love to meet with you again next week at the same time if you'd be interested.
Yeah, I guess we could talk a little bit more, yeah.
Okay. Maybe we could address more of the concerns with your teacher next week, and kind of maybe think of some different ways that we could handle the feelings that you're not being heard, that you're being disrespected, that maybe she's not being patient enough with you,
Yeah.
and we could kind of come up with a plan for that next week.
Yeah, I think that would be good because I do think that she doesn't like me and that she likes a lot of the other kids better, but she doesn't even know me.
Okay.
So that would be good.
Well, I'd love to talk to you more about that next week. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, thanks for coming in today, Nati.
Thank you.
You have a great rest of the day, okay?
Thanks.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's great. I'm glad to hear that. So, it's been a month since we first met,
Yeah.
and we covered a little bit of ground as far as working with your teacher. After our meeting last week with her and your parents, how did things go this week?
I think they went better. I think that the teacher understands a little bit more that we just don't know words for things, and that it's not because I'm being rude to her. I don't know, and so when I don't know things, I can't follow along or pay attention, and I'm not being disrespectful. I just need extra help in those times, and so she said when she notices me trying to not really watching and paying attention, she'll ask, "Do you need extra help?" And then I said that would be a good way because then I don't feel embarrassed having to ask for it. She'll just ask me. And then it also helped my parents because they're not as mad at me now because they know that I wasn't being mean in class. I just didn't know what was going on sometimes.
That's great. So what I heard you say is that things are going better with your teacher now because you're getting a little extra help, which is what you needed. And that things are even going better with your parents because you're doing a little bit better in class and you're feeling like you're maybe able to learn a little bit more and things seem to be going better. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, great. You did a really nice job. I was just wanted to tell you this. You did a nice job in that meeting last week of saying what you needed and being vocal and advocating for yourself. You did a nice job. So
thanks. It was kind of scary to meet with that teacher because I don't think that she likes me, but in the meeting it didn't actually seem that way. She just thought I was being rude on purpose.
Sure.
And so I think we were both misunderstanding each other.
Okay.
So
Well, you could sometimes see how misunderstanding might get kind of big. So it was good that you wanted to address it and you were able to do that. I'm glad. I did want to touch on the Developmental Achievement Center we talked about in our first meeting, and I sent home that pamphlet. You weren't too sure about it then, which was fine, and I just wanted to see if you'd made any progress on that or had any more thoughts about it.
Well, I did talk to the lady who does it.
Okay.
But I just feel like it's more for littler kids, and I'm kind of too grown up for it.
Okay.
And so it didn't seem like something I really want to do, and it's also, kind of hard to do it, even if I wanted to, because it's after school, and then it's at nighttime kind of, and I would have to get a ride home, and my parents don't drive, and so I can't really get a ride home in the nighttime. So it would just be really hard to do, and I need to help out after school with like daycares and stuff. So I don't think it would just work out, and it seems boring, kind of anyway.
Okay, so transportation and maybe time-wise, it seems like that might be an obstacle for that particular program.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you might want to explore some other resources that might be available? Like, I know in school there's a couple different language tutors that meet during study hall, and so you could maybe meet with them once a week or twice a week.
Yeah, that would be better if it was in school, because then I don't have to worry about getting rides.
Sure. Okay.
So,
well, Miss Sandy up at the front, she does all the scheduling for everybody, and when we walk out today, we could take a look at that schedule and sign up if that's something you're interested in.
Yeah, I think that would be good, because now that my parents know kind of what the problem is, they want me to get better at it and get help for it, and so I do need to do something, so that would be good.
Okay. You're feeling maybe some pressure from your parents to do it.
Yeah.
And last time you had mentioned that you were interested in it too, so.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wanna. It gets embarrassing when you don't know words, and so I want to do it because I need to, and I don't want to be embarrassed. And
oh, that's great. We can look into getting some more information for that when we leave today, and maybe getting you signed up for however many sessions whenever you're interested. It's up to you with how you want to work it, but appreciate your interest in moving forward with that.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Okay. I did want to talk to you today about a report I got, just maybe that there was some incident on the bus. Do you know what that might be about?
Yeah, so a kid on the bus that I ride every morning, he's really mean and started calling me names and saying that I was dumb and that I didn't know English and that I'm poor and just all these kinds of things. And so it made me really mad, and so I stood up and started yelling at him too, and I called him stupid, and I just, stuff. And then, but when I stood up and started yelling at him, the bus driver saw me stand up. The bus driver stopped the bus and yelled at me and said I was gonna get in trouble. And I only did it because he yelled at me first.
Okay. So, sounds like maybe this is kind of an occurrence that happens more than once, from what I understand, or
it's happened a few times with the same kid, and he always starts it, but he makes me mad, so I always say something, and then I'm the one who always gets in trouble.
Okay. It sounds like that's kind of what always seems to happen. Have you tried anything differently in the past?
No, not really.
Okay. Well, from being here and kind of hearing what you're telling me, it doesn't sound like you like to be in trouble, and I have gotten to know you a little bit better, and I know that that's not really kind of who you are.
No, I don't want to.
Right. And I want to make sure that you feel safe on the bus, and I want to make sure that you're comfortable, riding the bus to get here. So, do you think there may be something else we could do in that situation, where if he's maybe getting upset, there would be a different way to handle it?
I mean, yeah, I probably could do something different. I mean, I haven't done it, but I guess I could probably not sit so close to him or something.
Okay, not sit so close to him. Well, that's maybe an option. Are there any other options?
I guess maybe, instead of yelling at him, if he yells at me, I could just tell the bus driver, or just not talk to him or something.
Okay. Sounds like you have a pretty good plan. Would you be willing to try that next time?
I could probably try just the sitting somewhere else, maybe by the front, and so if he yelled at me, the bus driver would hear him. Because I don't know if I would be able to ignore him or not.
Okay. And I just want to, clarify in this situation, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you feel like your safety is endangered in these situations? Like, where would you place that on that scale?
I would say, like, I mean, 1 being, like, I'm safe, like, 1, I am safe, because, I don't feel like I'm gonna get hurt or anything, because he's not gonna, like, push me or anything like that, we just yell at each other, so I feel safe, I feel like, 1, I'm safe.
Okay, well, I'm, glad to hear that. I want to make sure that you feel safe, and if that ever changes, just so you know, you can always tell me, you can tell your teachers or your parents or somebody else that you trust that you feel like could help you in that situation, because we want to make sure that every student feels safe, and that you have the right to ride the bus without being yelled at, and that student has the right to ride the bus without being yelled at too.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you're gonna ride the bus tonight on your way home, and do you feel comfortable, maybe enacting the plan that we came up with today?
Yeah, I mean, I might as well give it a shot, and maybe then I could sit in the front, and then he won't yell at me, and if he does, the bus driver will hear him, and if he doesn't, either way, then I won't get in trouble. So that will be better.
Okay. Well, that's a very good way to look at the problem and kind of find a solution to fix that. And next week I'd love to hear how that's going. But in the meantime, you can always stop by and just let me know if you're maybe encountering some more difficulty with that than you thought, and we can revise the plan or come up with some new ideas.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know, we, the past 4 weeks have talked a lot about your teachers, and we talked a lot about, getting acclimated to the school system and, America, because it's a whole new place for you. How do you feel things are going?
I feel like things are going better now that I'm, like, getting help from people, because otherwise I felt like I was really alone and that I wasn't gonna be able to do things, and I wasn't getting any help, and so now it's better to feel like I have help.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. Are there any other things going on that you might, see as something that is interrupting your ability to learn or to do well at school?
No, I think just the things that we've talked about have been the really big things, and if we can figure them out, then I'll be a lot happier and be a better student and better, kid.
Okay. Well, I don't know about you, but if you feel comfortable meeting maybe 2 more times, and we can next week, make sure that the progress we're still seeing with your teacher, and we can touch back in about the incident on the bus and see how that's going. And then, if there's anything else that comes up at that time, maybe we can, talk about those things and develop a plan, but then that our sessions would end in 2 weeks. Does that seem okay?
Yeah, I think so. I think it'll be good to still check about the bus and see if that's getting better, but otherwise, yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay. Well, just like every week, we kind of talked a lot about some different things. It sounds like things are going better with your teacher. And with your parents, and so I'm glad to hear that. And you look a lot better today coming in, and you seem like you're doing a little bit better.
Things are going better, yeah.
Okay. And the situation on the bus, that's a difficult one, but we'll see how today goes with the plan that you came up with, and we'll touch base about that next week. And that today when we leave, we can get you maybe signed up for some of those tutoring classes. That are during school hours, so maybe there are not so many obstacles in the way of that.
That sounds good.
Okay. Well, we'll meet for another 2 sessions. We'll see each other next week, and we'll just regroup and revise and see what we have going on. Sounds okay. All right. Well, have a nice day, Nati.
All right.
Thanks for coming.